All right, we got about a minute until the show. Where are you? I can't see you.
I'm right here, baby.
Well, move over so I can see your beautiful face when I'm talking to you.
Okay.
Random share giveaway tonight for a Can-Am ticket. And random share giveaway for stickers from VINTCO.
Okay.
And I have to make the announcement that I'm going to have John Lake on a special show tomorrow night. We're going to be talking all about the Can-Am Festival, everything that's going on. Everything's pretty much wrapped up, including all 3 bikes for the raffle that they're having, all the celebrity riders, and there was something else too. I don't know, there's food, there's workshops, there's a lot going on up there. And it's, I know what it is, it's less than 3 months away.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. It's quick.
Yeah, it just seemed like the other day I was saying, it's over a year and a half. It's like 2 years from now. And here it is, we're 3 months away.
I know.
Everything else is good.
You're live.
Let's get down to the starting line, and I'll tell you about what you're going to see on tonight's episode of Vintage Motocross Q&A. And the next time, try this segment. We've got a great little video sent in to us by Steve Ellis on how to adjust the turning radius on your bike. You're not going to want to miss this. In this Moto Showcase, a 1968 Montesa 360. Here's the problem. We've got a couple of great questions coming up there. What's it worth? We've got a 1983 Kawasaki KX250. We've got a race day live from Stargate. I think it's called Stargate. Steel Stampede. I'm sorry. Steel Stampede. Jordan was up there this weekend. We have a special field correspondent from what I understand. Even I don't know who this is yet, but I'm looking to see who it is. Just how I see it. It was announced that the Lawrence brothers are now Supercross champions. Hunter and Jet, of course, making history. Both East and West champions. There have been other brothers who have raced in the past, including the DeSotos, the Sons, the Pomeroys, and even Brad and his brother Randy Lackey. But there's only been 2 brothers that have been crowned champions, and those are the Hunter brothers. The Lawrence brothers. Also, Chase Sexton, he is your 450 Supercross champion. A lot of people out there have a lot to say about that, being there were so many injuries. But the way I see it is you had to be in it to win it, as Ricky Carmichael did say, and there have been other instances in the past, and I will give you those history-making instances a little bit later on in the show that will show you why Jet Lawrence is the champ. Chase Sexton is your 450 Supercross champion. No ifs, ands, or buts. You can comment throughout the show what you think about that whole situation. We've got all that and a whole lot more coming up, including a Can-Am ticket giveaway. We've got all that coming up and more on tonight's episode of Vintage Motocross Q&A, including me not getting names confused. Good evening, everyone. You're watching Vintage Motocross Q&A, and I am your host, Joe Abadi. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you, Jordan, Chelsea, and Susie for helping me put the show together. And once again, thank you, the viewers at home who join us every week. I want you to keep sharing the show, whether you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube. Please share the show, tell your friends about it, invite them over a little bit later on. We will have a random share giveaway winner. They will get a sticker sheet like this, compliments of VINTCO. We will also be giving away another Can-Am raffle ticket. This will put you in the running to win one of 3 restored Can-Ams that will be given away at the Can-Am Festival coming up in August. If you are on YouTube, please comment Motion Pro. Don't forget to join our YouTube channel. Every show we've done, including all the interviews, are there, available at any time. Please subscribe to our channel. When you do, you'll get a little alert just like this. It tells you when we're live on Vintage Motocross Q&A. It's a great way to watch all of the shows that we've done in the past. A great way to watch it is from your big screen TV while you comment from your phone. Probably the best way to enjoy the show. As always, I want to thank our sponsors, Motion Pro, VINTCO, Racer X, Preston Petty Products, Full Circle Racing, Replica Motorcycle Parts, and the International Motocross Museum. In the next time try this segment tonight, we're going to be taking a look at a video from my friend Steve Ellis, who put together something very, very interesting if you're looking to check the fork stops on your bike, the radius of the turn, if you're maybe making some fork stops and you want to make sure everything is lined up correctly. Let's take a look at what Steve Ellis did here. Jordan, roll the tape.
As you can see, this steering stop had broken off. Someone re-welded it, and I can tell you that the steering angle that the VARs turned was far less than it should have been. So here's what I did. I rigged up a handy-dandy Wiseco degree wheel. You can use that or your Motion Pro degree wheel. Good old home store. Picked up a expansion plug, 1/4 inch all thread, and some washers. Put a wire on there so you can see here. The wire is zeroed. I've aligned the front wheel perfectly. You can use laser, 2x4, string, your favorite choice of setup. So this one turns to the right, and as you can see, it stops at 52 degrees, and I've already centered it, as I said before. And to the left, it stops at 48 degrees. So I've got some grinding to do back on that steering stop, and when I do, I'll have equal distance on both sides. That's it. There's your tip.
Thank you, Steve Ellis. This week's VINTCO special is the 1977-1978 cylinder sleeve for Suzuki RM125. This is a 54 millimeter bore. It is made with modern materials, guaranteed to exceed the limits and the wear and the quality of a stock cylinder, which are getting really, really hard to find these days. There are more and more people are racing and restoring bikes. Get over to VINTCO.com for that 77-78 RM125 sleeve, $152.95. In the Moto Showcase tonight, we take a look at a bike that was sent in to us by Rick Harper. It is a 1968 Montesa 360 GP, a rather rare bike, especially the 360 version of it. Jordan's going to go through the slides while I tell you a little bit about Rick Harper's beautiful Montesa. Joe, thank you for having the bike on the show. I want to give credit where credit is due. The following people have helped me out with this bike. Mark Pape rebuilt the engine. The paint work was done by Empire Truck Rebuilders. Bob Morgan, I want to thank him for alerting me that this bike was for sale. Jared Bates from Southwest Montesa. Front forks are Sirianni's. They were rebuilt by Racetech. Every part was removed and inspected. All parts were properly plated and polished, chromed or painted. I did all the polishing and reassembling of the motorcycle myself. I changed the 32 millimeter AMO monoblock to an AMO 932 concentric, and it has the original airbox in the bike as well. The spokes were too far gone, and I replaced those with Buchanan spokes and nipples. Again, thank you for showcasing the Montesa on your show. It made this Okie very, very happy today. Well, you know, Rick Harper, thank you for sending in the bike. You did a beautiful job on it. It is a rather rare Montesa. And if you send me your mailing address, I will get you some nice gifts, compliments of Vintage Motocross Q&A and, I don't know, Preston Petty Products. We'll send you some goodies from some of our sponsors on the show. That segment was brought to you by Preston Petty Products. I want to thank Paul and Patty Standard for their years of support. 2 MX fenders this week, just $99.50. That's $99.50. I'm showing them in yellow, but they come in all the popular colors: yellow, black, blue, red. They might even be in translucent. I'm almost positive that they are. And don't forget, Paul Standard is still looking for dealers, so get a hold of them at PrestonPettyProducts.com. And here's the problem segment tonight. We've got a couple of interesting bits here. Jordan, what do we have up first? Ken Spear. I just did this 1974 MT250 gas tank, and I need a petcock for it. Is it different from the 75 and 76 petcocks of the CRs and the MTs? Ken Spear. I think he actually sent in a picture of the bike too, or a picture. Yeah, there it is right there. He did a beautiful job on the tank, Ken. And you know what? Very, very interesting. It's a 1-year only petcock for a 74 MT250. The CRs are not the same for 74, 5, or 6. They're just like this. And I believe you can get one from Remix, REMX. Ask Dan Gray, he might have one. But yeah, it's a 1-year only thing. And I've heard this happen to people before, to where they're restoring a tank specifically for the MT, but they wind up with a 75 or a 76 tank. Go to put it in a 74, the petcock is different. Yeah, keep an eye out for that for you MT Honda owners. Petcock is different. It's a 1-year only thing. Fred Forbeck. Do you know of a spray paint that looks like dull sandblasted iron like the old Maico heads and fins? Yeah, I do. VHT. VHT makes it. It's called engine enamel. It does come in a flat black. It comes in gloss black. It comes in a beautiful satin finish, which I prefer. But you're looking for it in a cast iron black. That's where you're going to get it, Fred.
Hello, this is Donnie Hanson. You're watching Vintage Motocross Q&A, and we'll be right back.
Hey, it's Joe Abadi for Vintage Motocross Q&A. One of my favorite tools from Motion Pro is their T-handle wrench with the special JIS tips on it. What I really like about it is there's a little opening on each end. You can put your tip in there. It's magnetic. You don't have to worry about losing it. This is a great item to have, especially for you vintage guys, where you've got your screws with JIS screws in the cases. They're very, very hard to get out. Nothing gives you more torque and better grip than a T-handle wrench. Get over to motionpro.com or see your local dealer. Don't forget, go to Vintage Motocross Q&A for a 20% discount on all Motion Pro tools. Love Motion Pro products. Everybody does. This month's code is still good. MP9135. When you go to checkout, punch in MP9135. This is good on everything in the Motion Pro catalog except custom-made cables. Thank you, Chris Carter and Eric Clay. The What's It Worth segment tonight, we're going to be taking a look at a 1983 Kawasaki 250. This is a segment of the show where I encourage you to guess how much you think this bike recently sold for, and I will reward you with maybe some stickers or something, okay? But I promise I will do that tonight. I don't really give away a product every week, but we've got a couple of things here on the set from our very, very generous sponsors. So whoever comes in closest without going over, like on The Price is Right with Bob Barker, we're going to get you something special, okay? Jordan, let's see what we got here. 1983 KX250. This bike is in excellent condition. It has a new seat cover, a new plastic, a new filter, new grips, new graphics. The shock has been rebuilt. The radiators are in awesome condition, and who doesn't like that? There is no pitting on the travel portion of the forks. The bottom of the frame is in great condition. It is not smashed. Brakes operate as expected. The bleed cover is missing on the front for whatever reason. The engine runs and it shifts great, although I have not split the cases to inspect it. This bike is a rare to find in this condition. It leaves you room to race it or restore it. It is in great condition and it runs perfectly as it is. Things to consider: the pipe is dented. The silencer is in good condition. The spokes are a bit rusty. The wheels have some scratches. They are 40 years old. 1983 KX250. What do you think it's worth? 2,000? 3,500? How much did this bike sell for, Jordan? 2,025 bucks. This was a steal at 2,025 bucks for a running 83 KX250 in Florida. Susie, let me know who you think or who you know got close enough without going. $2,025.
Oh, wow.
Anybody get it?
Well, Russell Waters has 2,650.
Russell Waters is over. Keep looking until you let me know who got under 2,000.
Jeff Kokoski.
Jeff Kokoski.
At 42, no.
2025, Sue. When you see 2025 or less, you let me know and I will announce on the air. Okay? Jordan, let's move on to the next segment. Jeff Kokoski is actually a part of the show. He sends us a great segment in every week, so I'm excluding him from the contest. That segment, of course, is brought to you by Full Circle Racing. Be sure to see my friend Tom McAllister. He's got a great special going on right now, 18-inch and 19-inch black rims, and 21-inch too, of course, for the front. Now listen to me. Read my lips. This comes with stainless steel spokes and nipples. New hubs, new rims. You send in the old hubs, he will powder coat those for you too. Assemble the whole thing. Put it all together, $775 plus return shipping and handling to you. That's essentially a brand new set of wheels for just $775. I think they've got a couple of gold ones left as well. But right now, 18, 19, 21 in black, just $775. Tom McAllister, thanks so much for being a sponsor of Vintage Motocross Q&A. And if you need a CZ backing plate, Tom still has it. He's been making it for 20 years, just $179 with the CZ logo. If you don't want the logo on there, $169. Have you ever heard of? This is an interesting little bike. You know, you see these all around, and I bet you heard of it, but you don't know too much about them. Have you ever heard of a Whizzer? The Whizzer bicycle engines were a line of bicycle engines that were produced in the United States from 1939 to 1965. They were commonly sold as kits and assembled to attach to a customer's bicycle, creating a motorized bike. The Whizzer bicycle engine was first produced in 1939 by Breen Taylor Engineering, a Los Angeles-based airplane parts manufacturer. By 1942, sales of the engines had not been entirely successful, having sold only about 2,500 units. The Whizzer operation was then sold to Dietrich Kolstadt and Martin Goldman. By 1943, World War II was well underway, and Whizzer Motors were forced to lobby the United States government for the right to continue production of what was argued to be a great way for defense workers to travel to and from work. Imagine that. 1948, Whizzer sold its pre-assembled motorized bicycle called the Pacemaker for just $199.50. The Sportsman, featuring a 138cc engine and was 3 horsepower, sold for just $224. And the Whizzer motorcycle engine would cease to produce around 1965 due to the increasingly competitive bicycle engine market. In 1997, Whizzer motorcycles was brought back into production in the same style of the original, but with some technological improvements. However, the Whizzer company, as of 2014, appears to be on a temporary hiatus from the bike production business. In its website, it states there are still some dealers selling NO as bikes, and there is some support being given from dealers as well. So they do still have a website, and they do still have some parts and things out there. But I didn't realize the Whizzer been around since 1939. Now you know. Race Day Live. Jordan was out this week. He was up there in Oregon at the what is it called, Jordan? The Stampede? I'm sorry, I forgot what the name. Here it is right here. It's in Crooked River. The Crooked River Ranch, and there was a big vintage race going on up there. Jordan says that we have a new field correspondent. I haven't seen this video. I don't know who it is. Let's find out. Jordan.
The Steel Stampede at the Crooked River Ranch is not the usual vintage motocross race. And this year, the 15th annual, did not disappoint. This is an event the whole town comes out to see. You can pit close to the starting gate, or out on what seems like a golf course with its luscious lawn. Accommodations are close by in the form of yurts, or a stone's throw brings you to a motel, or maybe an Airbnb with mountain views. Those who pre-entered got a free t-shirt. What a deal. The haulers were on point. The track layout was a lot of fun on an old bike. Some big sweepers, a small almost jump, a little dipper that required a passport for all 3 inches of your suspension, and what might as well have been a drag strip with a water crossing from the previous night's rain, right in front of all the spectators and the beer garden. Yes, there was a frickin' beer garden. The biggest gate was race 6, exclusively the vintage 60-plus intermediate class. 18 rear-into-goat gents. This year, if you didn't make it out, you better put this on your calendar for next year. Thank you Mark Hector and Sharon Code for the photographs, and Chelsea Peterson for the video clips. Hope to see you there next year. Bezwan signing off.
Our new field correspondent, Bejuaben Dimisi. I liked it, Jordan. It was like vintage motocross meets Coming to America. Great job. What great coverage there, Jordan. And as he mentioned, Shannon Code and Mark Hector. Thank you so much for the photographs. And Jordan, thank you for doing the video. Did you know? This is, of course, sent in by Jeff Kokoski. And last week we were talking about spark plugs on the show, and Jeff sent in a little follow-up on that. And it's about heat ranges. So let's see what Jeff has to tell us this week. Last week we talked about how spark plug manufacturers change the length of the plug's ceramic insulator in order to vary the plug's heat range that helps to retain or relieve heat from the engine and the combustion chamber. This week we'll discuss some situations that may prompt a need to change the heat range for your specific situation. Recall from last week that ideally combustion chamber temperatures run between 850 degrees Fahrenheit and 1500 degrees. The lower temperature is hot enough to keep unburned carbon deposits from forming and electrodes potentially fouling the plug, while the upper limit keeps the metal parts from being melted and, of course, detonating. Remember, it is the engine that puts the heat to the plug and not the reverse. A hot plug does make an engine run hotter, nor does a cold plug make it run cooler. So once an engine jetting is generally figured out, there is a number of primary drivers that can affect the internal temperature of the combustion chamber. First off, do some studying and properly learn to read a spark plug. Don't just go solely by the color of the insulator. You also take a look at the condition of the insulator, the color and the condition of the electrode, and the condition of the first half dozen threads that are directly impacted by the combustion chamber. A lean fuel-air mixture raises the cylinder head temperatures, requiring a colder plug, while a rich fuel-air mixture requires a hotter plug to prevent deposits from forming that foul the plug. Generally, you fix either of these issues with jetting, but you can also fine-tune the engine performance with the heat range. Ignition timing is one of the greatest effects on the heat range choices. Advancing the timing a degree or two before top dead center will increase the combustion temperature and gain performance. But there's a fine line between max performance and the start of pre-ignition or detonation. Increasing the compression ratio raises the cylinder pressure, which also results in higher combustion chamber temperatures. If you cut or shave the cylinder head, you'll probably need a colder plug. Gasoline qualities affect the internal temperature, especially the older two-strokes designed to run on leaded fuel. The lead in fuels causes a glazing effect that required a slightly colder plug, and now with today's oxygenated unleaded fuels, a hotter plug may be necessary. Finally, the type of track or riding condition may require a heat range change. Sustained acceleration on sand tracks or track with long uphills or big sweepers raise a load in the engine, resulting in a higher internal temperature and calls for a colder plug, while twisty and winding tracks or like Northeast hair scrambles, they may require a hotter plug. So how can you tell whether you've chosen the right heat range? In the words of the 1970s two-stroke tuning guru, Gordon Jennings, it's easy. A spark plug should be getting hot enough to keep its insulator's nose completely clean, with all deposits burned away, but not so hot that its electrodes show signs of serious heating. Thank you, Jeff Kokoski, for that schooling on spark plugs. That was really, really interesting between last week and this week. Thank you, Jeff Kokoski. Oh, the Can-Am 50th anniversary. We have a random share giveaway winner. We are giving away, where's my little ticket? I had a ticket here. Anyway.
Gino took it.
Gino took my Can-Am ticket?
Yeah.
No way.
No, he didn't.
Okay. Well, I don't know where the ticket is, but we're going to take a commercial break. And when we get back, we'll have the Can-Am ticket giveaway winner as well as the random share giveaway winner for tonight.
VINTCO, who already has a full line of vintage parts, now has air shocks that are an exact duplicate of the original air shocks so popular in the late 70s. So whether you're looking to build a full racer or museum showpiece, these shocks will give you that incredible 70s look and improve your bike's performance. These new air shocks are fully rebuildable with VINTCO rebuild kits, and all shocks are hand assembled in the USA with all new components. Every component is brand new. Just like the originals, our air shocks are adjustable with 2 chambers, high and low pressure, giving you tremendous flexibility for settings of your bike suspension. The VINTCO air shocks come fully assembled and ready for installation. Just add air or nitrogen. The kits include the manual and spacers. Visit VINTCO.com to check out the air shocks and all that VINTCO has to offer to help you get back on track and to keep that ride going.
Dave Tice, you are tonight's ticket winner. Dave Tice, you are tonight's ticket winner for the Can-Am raffle. Get me your mailing address. I will have John Lake send you a ticket personally, and you will be in the raffle. I will be up there along with Gary Jones, Gary Semix, Marty Tripes, and so many others during that drawing. So I will be there. That's coming up in August. And don't forget, tomorrow morning on the Vintage Motocross Q&A Facebook page, I will announce what time tomorrow afternoon I will have John Lake, who is the coordinator of this whole Can-Am 50th Festival. I'm going to have him on the show tomorrow night. We're going to do a little interview. He's going to bring us up to date on what's happening with the giveaway of the motorcycles. All the celebrities are going to be there. There's going to be food. There's going to be workshops, all kinds of things going on for this 4-day event. I'll announce that tomorrow in the morning, and tomorrow afternoon you'll hear from John Lake. I think I'm going to give away a t-shirt too. While I'm at it, Charlie Bagley, you are the sticker winner for tonight. So it's Charlie Bagley. You're going to get some stickers like this, compliments of VINTCO, Charlie Bagley. And Dave Tice, you are the winner of the ticket. Just how I see it. I was talking about this a little bit earlier in the show. Your 250 East and West champions are the Lawrence brothers, Jet and Hunter. There they are right there. While there have been other brothers that have raced throughout the history of motocross, there have never been two that have been a national champion. You have, of course, had the DeSotos, you've had the Pomeroys, you've had the Sons, and the Lackeys as well, Randy and Brad Lackey. Some of them were national champions, but there were never two brothers that were national champions. And there they are from Australia, the East and West champions. Now, in the 450 class, over the past couple of days, since it was determined that Chase Sexton is the 450 Supercross champion, there has been a big dust-up and some of the things really not so nice that people had to say about Chase Sexton. Now, the guy chased Tomac all year long. Tomac, an absolutely phenomenal rider, but he chased Tomac all year long. He wasn't the points lead for a while. In fact, if you want to get down to it, I think it was a few slip-ups on Chase Sexton's part on the last lap of a few races that actually put Tomac in the lead again with the red plate. He was number one from last year, but it put him back with the red plate on again. That's racing. That's how it goes. But you got to remember, there are a lot of guys out there who are going for that title. Things happen. It's racing. It has happened before where certain instances, and I don't mean to, and I'm not poo-pooing Eli Tomac's injury, but there are a couple of instances where titles have switched hands in the last race, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples of them right now. Jordan, here it is, 1982. Number 6 is Ricky Johnson. Number 7 is Donnie Hansen. This race came down to the wire in Colorado. All Ricky Johnson had to do was finish third or better, and he was the national champion. On one of the last laps, the front wheel exploded on his Yamaha. Donnie Hansen went by and was crowned the 1982 national champion. In another instance, in what is called Roger DeCoster's toughest battle, it was 1973. Willie Bauer on a Maico had, I think, 6 or 7 wins over Roger's 5 or 6 wins throughout the GP season. It came down to the last race. Willie Bauer had enough points to where he was going to be the next world champion. On one of the last laps, the spark plug came out of the head of Willie Bauer's Maico. Roger went by. He was crowned the 1973 500cc world champion. Once again, I'm not saying that Tomac's injury is anything compared to a spark plug coming out of a head or somebody having a broken wheel. His injury could be career ending. We don't know that. But a champion is a champion is a champion. They had to be there. They had to be in the running. They had to be close in the points in order for that to happen. So for all you guys sitting home on your couch who never got past intermediate, please stop with all the BS already, saying that there should be some asterisk or some explanation as to why or how Chase Sexton became champion. And that's just how I say it.
Tell him, Joe.
This week in motocross history, brought to you by Racer X, one of the finest motocross publications on your newsstand now. Also available online. See our ad in the back of every issue. It was 1973. Jones, he was a hired gun. Gary Jones got a Honda's major first motocross win when he won the 250 National at Amelia Earhart Raceway in Hialeah, Florida. Jones, the defending AMA 250 National champion, was hired away from Yamaha by Honda and along with his brother Dwayne in hopes to give Honda their first win, and they sure did it. They put him right in the winner's circle. It took just 3 races for Gary to win, with fellow Honda teammates Marty Tripe second and Dwayne taking a 4th that day. Honda always wanted the big guns in there, and boy, they're going to have them next year in Supercross too, with the Lawrence brothers and with Chase Sexton, but I digress. 1984. Lachine for the win at the Bel Ray AMA Motocross National at Six Flags Park outside of Atlanta. The 250 class was won by Team Honda's Ron Lachine, with Georgia's own Billy Lyle second and Yamaha's Ricky Johnson third, with some controversy. Johnson finished second in the first moto, but was later docked 1 full lap, knocking him back to 8th for taking a line outside of the racetrack. He won the second moto, and he would have won the overall if not for the penalty. 1990, Bradshaw at home. Damon Bradshaw won his hometown race in Charlotte Memorial Stadium in North Carolina. The race was a disaster for French Honda rider Jean-Michel Bale, who was on a hot streak before crashing out of a Charlotte 250 class. Rookie Mike LaRocco finished second on the Suzuki, with defending champion Jeff Stanton and Team Honda finishing third. That's it for this week in motocross history. The announcements tonight, of course, are brought to you by the International Motocross Museum. Jordan, what do we have up first?
It's Joe Abadi for the International Motocross Museum. We're here in beautiful Carmel, California. We are at the Quail Gathering and help this display. Compliments of Terry Good and the International Motocross Museum are here, but they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for this man, Bob Stark. Bob, tell me about why you're here at Yamaha is often at the Quails.
Well, Joe, thank you very much. So the Quail Gathering is really the biggest event for vintage and classic motorcycles really in the country. And for us, our heritage, our racing heritage is iconic, and it's really part of our DNA. So it's really important for us to maintain that. And man, I got to tell you, we're going to thank Terry so much for loaning us these vintage Supercross bikes. It's so important. You know, I was talking to a customer here a while ago, and he says he remembers when Rob Hanna won the championship for back-to-back Supercross Motocross Championship in 1979, and the bikes here. And he said it meant so much to him emotionally to bring that back. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here, for people to relive those memories because of being so much.
You're talking about, of course, the 79 OW Formula 1 of Bob Hanna. It's not here behind us. Reason being, so many people were around that bike. We had to get it out from under the tent and put it up by the stage where more people could enjoy it. How many years now has Yamaha been coming to the Quail event?
Yeah, that's right, Joe. So, unfortunately, during COVID, the Quail event was off. So the last 2 years it's been on. So we're here the past 2 years, and it's such a great event for us. As I said before, our heritage is a really important thing for all of us at Yamaha. This is the best event, and certainly in the country, for us to showcase it.
I would agree. Bob Starr, thank you for taking time to speak to me.
Joe, thanks so much. Terry Good, you're the best. Thank you.
Joe Abadi for the International Motocross Museum. Don't forget, go to the website, International Motocross Museum.org.
I just wanted to announce in the past couple of weeks, we had an autograph, a contest. Who had the best autograph story? And we did give away some books. I wanted to announce that Brian Webley and Craig Smolin both won a book. And there was another gentleman who sent in a very, very interesting story, a heartfelt story. While he was in prison, was able to get an autograph and some stickers from Roger DeCoster, and he had them sent home. And then 2 years later, he was able to see them. I thought that was a great story, but he did not want his name announced on the air. So we gave away 3 books, compliments of David Dewhurst. They went to an unnamed person, and they also went to Brian Webley and Craig Smolin. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and thanks for sending in those great autograph stories. Oh, The Stolen Title. It's a great book by Gary Tippings. And of course, it was with the help of Martina Faltova-Cope. And you can get a copy of that book. Go to faltabook.com, or go to Martina Faltova-Cope's Facebook page if you want to buy a copy of that book. And who else has those books for sale? The Moto Barn. My dear friend, George Ackerman at the Moto Barn. He does have those books for sale. If you go to the Moto Barn on Facebook, you can buy a ticket right from there. Armor Regional coming up in Marysville, California. That's on June 11th, just less than a month away. There's a practice day on Saturday. There's a race day on Sunday. This is presented by the MX Racing in conjunction with the Original Standard Motocross Group. Pacific Northwest Vintage Riders. They got a race coming up, and it's coming up this Saturday, May 20th. That's at track 148 in Lewiston, Idaho. Lewiston, Idaho, this weekend. I talked about it a little bit ago. The Can-Am 50th Festival is coming up. That is happening on August 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th. That is at beautiful Gopher Dunes in Ontario, Canada. I will be your host and MC for 3 days. We've been giving away tickets here on the show for the raffle for the motorcycle. We're going to be giving a shirt away tomorrow afternoon, as my special guest will be John Lake. Go to the Vintage Motocross Q&A page tomorrow morning. You'll find out what time tomorrow afternoon I will have John Lake on the show. But if you want to get up there and you want to race, make plans now. It's less than 3 months away. You got to get your bikes over the borders. You might have to have a title. You might have to have some paperwork. Now is the time to get it all together and be at Gopher Dunes for the Can-Am 50th Anniversary Festival. Finish Line is brought to you by ReplicaMotorcycleParts.com. This week's Replica Motorcycle Parts special is a 1980 Honda CR250 tank strap. Just $32. Get over to ReplicaMotorcycleParts.com. You know what else, Jordan? Got a second there, Jordan? Yeah, I want to talk. See all this stuff here? I've got all kinds of things from ReplicaMotorcycleParts.com. I've got air filter straps. I've got chain buffers, air filter retainer caps, the whole air filter for a 1974 Honda CR125, which are just about impossible to find. They've got dust covers. They've got these little bushings that go on your shift. Paul Parkinson Sr. is making over 80 products, including throttle tubes and so many more things. He sent me some grommets the other day that I need for some Elsinore restoration that I'm doing. Tank grommets, also grommets that go in the side panels, go onto the airbox. And while these things are specially 3D printed, they don't feel like other materials that I've seen 3D printed. It's more like a rubber, like you see right here. It's got some flexibility to it. It looks really, really a whole lot more like an OEM product than anything else I've ever seen printed in OEM, because he is using some special formula to do that. He's also looking for people who want to duplicate parts. Get a hold of Paul Parkinson Sr. He is on Facebook, or get a hold of me and I'll get you in touch with Paul Parkinson Sr. and you can have some parts replicated as well. ReplicaMotorcycleParts.com. Maico Michelin t-shirts. Jordan's got these things for sale. Follow the link in the show description. Just $24.99. They come in gray and white while supplies last. Vintage Motocross Q&A t-shirts and hoodies. They still come in gray and white. T-shirts are just $19.99. For a few bucks more, you get yourself a hoodie. Follow the link in the show description. Jordan, you know what I want to mention too, if you put it on full screen for a second? We just got these in. 15-ounce coffee mugs with the Vintage Motocross Q&A logo on there. These are guaranteed not to scratch or peel. Dishwasher and microwave safe, just $11 plus shipping. $11 plus shipping. Get a hold of me. We take PayPal, Zelle, and Venmo. 15-ounce. 15-inch in my dreams. Anyway, Vintage Motocross Q&A sponsorship opportunities are still available. Get a hold of me. I will get you a sponsorship proposal package. You will be able to see all the benefits that all of our other sponsors are seeing right now, including Motion Pro, VINTCO, Preston Petty Products, Full Circle, Sunrise Vapor Blasting, and all the other sponsors of our show. I'm blushing. I think wraps it up for tonight's Vintage Motocross Q&A. Who are our winners again? Charlie Bagley, you got yourself a ticket. Oh, no, Dave Tice, you got the ticket. Charles Bagley, you got yourself some stickers, okay? Thank you, our sponsors. Don't forget, tomorrow, I will be on with John Lake sometime tomorrow afternoon. We're talking all about the Can-Am reunion and what's going to be happening up there. This is Joe Abadi. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Vintage Motocross Q&A. Gino! Let's see if he comes in here. Gino! Come on, boy. Come on, Gino. Oh my God. Okay. Mm. Oh, he's ready, baby.
Right hand? Right hand. Speak up, Paul. Just, what's his name for John Lake?
Bye.